Thank you very much for the opportunity to be with y'all today. My name is John Mahoney. I'm the founder and president of Moby. What we do at Moby is very simple. We help companies improve productivity and profitability through risk mitigation. And how we do that is we have the technology to essentially validate government-issued IDs from around the world in a matter of 3 seconds. And why is that important? Everyone's like, ID validation. Why is that important? And why did I get into this? Let me tell you the why, then I'll tell you why I got into it, then I'll tell you why it's important. Tomorrow I'm presenting to Lowe's corporate office, and I've been presenting to them for 5 years, using a hardware device to scan IDs. The last project I pitched to them was a $10 million capital investment on their behalf. Well, they said thanks, but no thanks. After 10 presentations and 10 no thanks, I did a pivot basically and said, I got to do something different. So I started thinking, what does everybody in this room have in their pocket? And essentially a cell phone. So I was thinking, we got to do something to change the environment of how we do this. So I created a web-based service to allow businesses to essentially validate government-issued IDs from around the world online, using a web service, using their cell phone, or using a simple web app. Now the question is everyone goes, well, why is that important? I think we all know why. Knowing who we're dealing with, who we're selling products to, who's coming into our banks, who's buying our cars, who's buying fertilizer from Lowe's. It's extremely important for us to know, and we don't. 6 of the 19 terrorists had fake IDs on. They walked through TSA faster than they walked through Chuck E. Cheese. The 9/11 Commission put out a report basically saying theft is not the issue anymore. It's safety, okay? But on the consumer side, safety is wonderful, but we looked more on the business side. So we're thinking, hey, it's probably more about theft. From a business standpoint, identity fraud is the #1 consumer complaint and has been for 15 years. The impact around the world essentially is a $221 billion loss for businesses around the world, and ironically, 70% of that loss is in the United States. So what we've been able to do is identify existing target markets that we've sold to for the last 15 years, selling a clunky hardware device to, and now we're coming out with a light, easy to deploy, simple to deliver, no CapEx solution that I can go and charge any one of these verticals 50 cents a transaction today versus what I was doing before. My relationships that I mentioned 15 years of relationships, pretty stacked pipeline at the moment. I haven't created new business. I've just gone back to visit my existing business, existing relationships, existing people. I haven't traveled in essentially 2 years. Tomorrow going to Lowe's is the first trip in a long time. But as you can tell, we've already closed $1.5 million worth of business. We have about another $1.4 million in testing, and we have some pretty big names right behind that, moving from prospect, hopefully, to lead, to hopefully close by the end of this year. The good thing to understand about what we're doing and what's different today than what was going on before we were a site license-based model. Now we're a transactional model. We get paid per drink. We don't get paid to walk in the door. And why is that different? Because it makes a whole lot more money. We're a recurring revenue model, we're transaction-based, and in any business, that's exactly what you want. Our products are pretty simple. We have an API that allows customers to integrate into their existing platform. We have a web app, a phone app, and we also have administrative tools to look at transactions and monitor those securely online. We're coming out with a vendor tool in 2019. My use of funds, they're detailed, but I only have 10 seconds, so I won't go into it other than we have a very strategic plan, great product vision, and Moby essentially is designed to positively identify anyone, anywhere.